Okay, hello everyone. Ang lecture natin ngayon tungkol sa DevPsych. Pag-usapan natin, what is the right way to see aging? Mamaya papaliwanag ko kung anong ibig sabihin yan. Basa muna ako ng biblical passage. Coming from James chapter 4, verses 13 to 15. Now listen, you who say today or tomorrow, he will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. Alam nyo, ito yung isa sa mga passages na malaki ang kinalaman sa developmental psychology. Kaya, i-connect ko to sa topic natin ngayon. Which is again, how is the right way to see aging? Gusto ko i-emphasize yung word na way o sa Tagalog paraan. Ano raw yung tamang paraan? Paano natin tignan yung pag-edad natin? Basically, kapag sinabi mong way, sinasagot mo yung tanong, gaano pa kahaba ang buhay mo? In English, how you see the existence of your life. Sa tingin mo, gaano pa kahaba yung buhay mo? Ano yung estimate mo? Yan yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. What is the right way to answer that question? As you will see later, meron kasing dalawang models yan kung paano mo sasagutin yung tanong na yan. Kung gaano pa kahaba ang buhay mo, mamaya i-discuss ko yan. Now, let's talk about the word aging. In DevPsych, kapag sinabi mong aging, ibig sabihin yan pagtanda or umeedad or nagmamature ka. So in our everyday conversation, pag sinabi mong, uy, bumabagal yung takbo mo bakit parang mabilis kang hingalin ngayon Tapos ang sagot sa'yo, pare kasi nag-aging ako. It makes sense. Ibig sabihin nun, kaya siya mabilis mapagod, kaya siya bumabagal gumalaw, kasi yung katawan niya tumatanda, umeedad, nagmamature. Yan, okay? So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng aging in the context of developmental psychology perspective. So, going back to the question, pag may nagtanong sa'yo, gaano pa kahaba ang buhay mo, merong dalawang paraan paano sagutin yan. And I would call this models of aging. Okay, yung unang model to answer that question is yung tinatawag na Waze model, and number 2 is the Candle model. Alam niyo naman ibig sabihin ng Waze, no? Ito yung app na ginagamit natin to help us navigate where we are going. Yung Candle model, from the word candle, yung isang kandila. Now, take note, yung numbers 1 and 2, gawa-gawa ko lang ng mga concepts yan. Huwag niyong hanapin sa mga DevPsych textbooks yan. Hindi niyo mahahanap yan. So, this is my original concepts just to help people how to further understand aging. Okay, so again, para hindi kayo malito, may nagtanong sa'yo, gaano pa kahaba ang buhay mo? 2 ways to answer that. Pwedeng Waze model, pwedeng Candle model. Unahin natin yung Waze model. Pag ginagamit mo is Waze model, ine-estimate mo yung length of life mo based on your distance from old age. Kaya ako ginamit yung Waze as an illustration. Di ba kasi yung Waze, kapag nag-set ka ng location na pupuntahan mo, i-estimate niya kung gaano katagal yung biyahe mo from point A to point B. Makikita mo talaga in real time yung mga roads na dadaanan mo from where you are papunta sa kung saan ka papunta. Binibigay sa'yo ng Waze yan. Alam mo lahat ng pagdaraanan mo, i-estimate niya kung gaano kahaba yung oras na kailangan mo to get to where you want to go. Now, in the same way, in understanding life or in looking at aging, pwede mo rin gamitin yung Waze model na yan. So, going back to the definition, pag Waze model yung ginagamit mo, in-estimate mo yung length ng buhay mo based on gaano ka pa kalayo sa old age. Kumbaga, kung babalikan natin tong illustration na to, ang location mo dito is old age. Lahat tayo doon papunta. Yun yung assumption natin. We are going to old age. So, gaano pa kahaba buhay mo? Ang sagot, depende yan kung gaano ka kalayo sa old age. Siyempre, mas malayo ka pa sa old age, assumption, mas mahaba pa buhay. So, mas mahaba pa ang buhay ng isang baby compared to sa isang nasa adolescence. Kasi between those two life stages, mas malayo ang infancy sa old age kumpara sa adolescence. You get the point? Yun yung tinatawag nating Waze model. Kaya in our everyday conversation, when you hear someone saying these statements, uy, bata pa ako. O mahaba pa yung ibabiyahe ko sa buhay. Uy, ang aga naman niyang namatay. These statements are using the Waze model. Kasi para masabi mo yung mga statements na yan, inestimate mo yung current na life stage ng tao from old age. Kaya mo nasabing bata ka pa. Kasi feeling mo yung current age mo ang layo pa sa old age. Kaya mo nasabing mahaba pa yung biyahe mo kasi nga bata ka pa, ang layo mo pa sa old age. Ang aga naman niya namatay. Paano mo nasabing maaga siyang namatay? Kasi yung current age niya ang layo pa sa old age yet namatay na siya. That's why in using Waze model, just to further illustrate, ang sagot mo dito, kung gagawin mo tong true or false item in a quiz is true. People in old age are closer to death compared to people in younger ages, such as, for example, in adolescence. Ang sagot mo dyan, true. Kasi yung tao na sa old age, nandoon na siya sa stage na malapit na siyang mamatay compared to someone who is just in adolescence. Got that? In fact, going back to the passage, kapag ito yung attitude mo in the way you age, now listen, you who say today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Bakit ganyan siya ka-confident na pagdaraanan pa niya yung mga yan? Base yan sa estimate niya na malayo pa siya sa old age. Siguro sa isip niya, going back, andito yung old age, andito pa ako adolescence, kaya pwede ko pang planuhin yung mga yan. I'll go to this place, I'll go to that place, punta ako ng Korea, tapos magtitrip ako sa Amerika, tapos mag-aaral ako sa Canada. Bakit ganun yung plano mo sa buhay? Kasi nga, naiisip mo, ang layo mo pa sa old age. Anong tawag doon? You call that the Waze model of aging. Punta naman tayo doon sa candle model of aging. Ito naman, sa model na to, every breath or every moment that you are sensing right now, dalawa ang nangyayari. Number 1, life gets shorter. And number 2, every moment, every breath, you are closer to death. Kapag ganyan yung paraan mo ng pagtingin sa buhay mo, paikli yan ng paikli, every moment, candle model yan. Kasi yun yung nangyayari sa candle, di ba? Pag sinindihan mo yan, habang tumatagal, paikli ng paikli yung buhay niyan every moment. Let's do this exercise para i-illustrate yung candle model. Everyone, I would like you to count 1 to 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the candle model, anong ibig sabihin ng 5 seconds na yon? Your life was cut 5 seconds shorter. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your life is 5 seconds closer to death. Ganun yung pananaw mo, ang buhay mo every moment paikli ng paikli. Okay? So, ang tawag doon is candle model. So, kung ganyan yung model mo, tapos bigyan ko ulit ng same item na yan, true or false, ang sagot mo na dyan is false. People in old age are closer to death compared to people in younger ages, such as in adolescence. Candle model, false yan. Bakit? Kasi sa candle model, hindi mo talaga masabi kung sinong mamamatay based on your distance from old age. Because old age does not cause death in this model. Ang logic ng candle model is a 70-year-old guy can live 25 more years and a 20-year-old very active college student can die tomorrow. Got that? Wala sa edad. Wala sa distance mo from old age yung remaining time mo sa buhay. Yan yung candle model. Kaya sa candle model, hindi guarantee na makakapasok ka sa succeeding life stages. Halimbawa, adolescent ka, hindi guarantee na magiging adult ka. Or kung adult ka, hindi guarantee na malalagpasan mo yung young adulthood. Or kung middle age ka, hindi guarantee na makakapasok ka pa ng old age. Kaya ito naman yung mga statements of people using candle model. Ibang-iba sa Waze model. Sasabihin ng candle model, anytime pwede ako mawala. Maikli lang buhay ng tao. You cannot say kailan siya mamamatay. Anytime pwede siyang mamatay. Hindi ko masabi, baka hindi na kayo magkita. Yung mga statements na yan is again based on the candle model. That we can go, our life can end anytime. Hindi mo siya pwedeng ma-estimate exactly based on your distance from old age. So, going back to those two models of understanding aging, alin dyan yung closer to reality? Now, this is not a trick question. Usually kasi when teachers asks this question, ang laging sagot is pareho. Na hindi pareho ang sagot dito. Merong model talaga dito closer to reality, and I would say yun dapat yung model na ginagamit natin if we want our mental health to be good. And what is that? Ang closer sa reality dyan is the candle model. In fact, pwede kong sabihin na yung waste model is very inaccurate, and it is even a risk factor to a person's mental health. So for those of you na ang pananaw nyo sa buhay is waste model, it's about time palitan nyo yung waste model ng candle model, and I hope this next few slides can convince you to do that. So bakit hindi tama? Bakit mali yung waste model? Because waste model is based on the wrong assumption that people die in old age or people die because of old age. Ang assumption ng waste model, kung gagawin mong framework yan, ganyan. Diba? So, ang day of death mo, depende yan sa current age mo, which is mali. Walang connection ang age mo sa day of death. Age does not cause death. Something else, or should I say someone else, determines the length of your life. Mamaya i-reveal ko kung ano yan. Basta ito munting paalala lang. For those of you who are in the waste model, walang kinalaman ng age kung kailan ka mawawala. Now, as I mentioned a while ago, no, ang waste model, pwede pa nga nating masabing risk factor yan sa mental health. Bakit hindi maganda sa mental health natin, or even in our development, dahil DevPsych ito, no? Bakit hindi maganda yan sa development natin? Because it creates an illusion of time surplus. Na, hindi mo naman pala talaga sigurado if you have surplus of time. But the waste model will convince you na marami ka pang oras. And the thing is, when people sense na marami pa silang oras, may surplus sila of time, they would be doing risky behavior such as the following. Yan, yung una, dahil sa tingin mo marami ka pang oras, lack of focus ka. Mahilig ka sa mga distractions. Marami ka pa namang oras Bata ka pa naman. So manood ka muna ng Netflix, mag-social media ka na muna mag-social media dyan, tapusin mo lahat ng Korean series dyan, kasi ang dami ka pang oras. It can also lead to risky behaviors. Marami pa akong oras kaya okay lang na mag-explore ako ng mga bisyo. Try ko tong drugs na to, try kong manigarilyo, try kong mag-vape, try kong magsabong, try kong mag-casino, kasi marami pa namang oras. This is the way I want to use my time to explore the world. Oh, di ba? And it is also related to addiction. In the process of exploring risky behaviors, baka may isa dyan, ma-hook ka dun. Na-hook ka sa drugs, na-hook ka sa sex. Kaya nag-develop ka ng addiction. All because ang akala mo, meron kang time surplus. Another risk factor is, pag feeling mo ang dami mong oras, nagiging relax ka sa buhay. Nagiging complacent ka in English. Kaya yung mga goals mo sa buhay, dinidelay mo. Marami pa naman ako oras, tsaka na yung goal na yan. Tsaka na yung mission ko sa buhay. Enjoyin ko muna tong teenage years ko. Enjoyin ko muna itong young adulthood years ko before I get serious. Kasi ang layo ko pa naman sa old age. And that delaying of goal leads to low levels of productivity. Kaya wala ka masyadong success. Kaya wala ka masyadong na-accomplish. Kaya in the language of self-determination theory, mababa yung iyong sense of competence. Feeling mo wala kang na-achieve. Bakit feeling mo wala kang na-achieve? Kasi totoo naman wala kang na-achieve because you are so distracted. And why are you so distracted? Feeling mo ang dami-dami mo pang oras. Right? In fact, yan nga yung dinescribe ni James dito Yung mga tao na ganyan ang attitude, today or tomorrow, we will go to this or that city, spend a year there. Bakit nila nasasabi yan? Kasi nga may illusion sila that they have a surplus of time. Nagsasayang sila ng oras, they are so distracted. Kaya pinagsasabihan ni James yung mga ganyang tao. Stop having the illusion that you have a surplus of time. And another risk factor, kapag waste model yung ginagamit mo is, may kinalaman naman to sa relationship mo with other people, you take people for granted. Kasi feeling mo, ang dami-dami mo pang oras, meron ka pang oras to do your own thing, you take for granted people around you. Huwag muna tayong mag-spend time with my parents this weekend kasi marami pa akong i-explore. Kasi pupunta pa ako dyan, pupunta pa ako doon. Huwag ko munang share ng gospel itong taong to kasi bata pa naman ako. Dapat na mga gumagawa niyan, mga pastor. Marami pa naman akong oras para humabol. Tsaka ko na lang share ng gospel. You see? So yung mga ganyang behaviors Bakit ganon? Kasi nga, meron kang ilusyon na meron ka pang time surplus. So if you combine all these three things here, hindi nagiging maganda yung development ng tao. Kulang ka sa focus, complacent ka, and then you take people for granted. In the language of self-determination theory, in connection to number 3, nasisira yung tinatawag na relatedness mo with other people. Okay? Now, let's move on to the candle model. Bakit naman ito yung naging tama? Tama ito kasi candle model of looking at life is based on fact. Ito naman talaga yung reality, that human life may end anytime in the lifespan. Ulitin ko lang, sinabi ko na kanina, age does not cause death. Age does not cause death. Ang tao namamatay hindi dahil matanda na siya, hindi dahil marami na kasing taon yung dumaan sa kanya. Although, pwede mo masabing correlated. Related na pag matanda ka, mas mataas yung chance na mamamatay ka, but it's not a guarantee. Remember, correlation is not the same as causation. May lecture ako dyan. Pwede nyong hanapin sa channel ko. No? Basta, ang sinasabi ko lang dito, age does not cause death. Now, what determines the length of the candle? I'm sure marami dyan nagtatanong na ngayon. So, kung candle model yung gagamitin mo, ano yung nagde-determine kung gaano pa kahaba yung buhay natin in life? Bakit may mga tao mahaba yung buhay, yung ibang mga tao maikli yung buhay? Actually, go back to our passage na binasa ko, may sagot doon. If it's not the age that determines length of life, what determines the length of our candle? Yun, yung malalaking words na yan, Lord's will. If it's the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. Got that? So going back to that conceptual framework a while ago, now we know kung ano yung question mark na yan. What determines the length of your life? What determines kung kailan ka mamatay? It's not age, rather, it's God's will. Yan ang ultimate cause of a person's length of life. Not science, not vitamins, not Flintstones, not age. It's all about the Lord's will. Yung haba ng buhay mo, depende yan sa will ni Lord kung hanggang saan yung buhay mo. And in fact, in the Bible, maraming beses, maraming mga Bible characters, yan yung way of looking nila sa buhay nila. Yan yung model na ginagamit nila, the candle model. Like for example, sa Job. That's the way Job sees life. Sabi niya, since his days are determined, his dito, ito yung human beings in general, and the number of his months is with you. Yung you dito is God. And since you have set limits that He cannot exceed. So, bago pa tayo pinanganak, our days here on earth are already limited. May limits na, sabi ni Job. Now, iba-iba tayo ng limits dyan. Yung iba, ang limit niya hanggang old age. But not everyone. May iba, ang limit lang niya, ang buhay niya hanggang young adulthood. Yung iba, ang limit lang niya hanggang teenager. Yung iba nga, ang limit lang hanggang prenatal stage lang for certain reasons that God only knows. No? So, iba-iba tayo ng limits. We cannot really estimate the length of our life based on yung distance natin from old age. Kasi what if yung limit ni Lord sa'yo, hindi ka naman umabot ng old age? You get the point. The same attitude na ginawa ni Jesus. Remember this? When He was praying to God. Kasi alam niya, ipapako na siya sa cross. Father, if you are willing, there's the word again, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. Yung take this cup from me, i-paraphrase mo yan, sinasabi ni Jesus dito, wag na lang sana matuloy yung crucifixion. Take this cup from me, pahabain mo pa yung buhay ko. Ayokong mapako sa cross. But, yun yung prayer niya. If you are willing. Ibig sabihin, may full submission si Jesus dito sa length ng buhay niya. Kung siya tatanungin, gusto niya mahaba pa buhay niya, but it does not matter. It's all about what God wants. If God wants His life to be shorter than what He wants, then so be it. Ganyan yung attitude ni Jesus. Candle model. Yung kay kay Paul din, ganyan yung model niya sa buhay For I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. Alam niya that God is very near in taking him. Hindi niya sinabi na alam niyang mamamatay siya kasi matanda na siya. Hindi factor sa kanya na matanda na siya. Nasa sense niya na ipinapagawa sa kanya ni Lord, matatapos na niya, And after that, it's about time na kukunin na siya ni Lord. So yung length ng buhay niya depende kay Lord, hindi dahil sa ilang years na meron siya. Although if I'm not mistaken, at this point, medyo matanda na rin naman si Paul. No? But then again, it's not the age that will stop your life, it's the Lord's will. Which is all about the candle model of understanding aging. Okay? So, ang candle model yung tama, yung ways model yung mali. Yan. Mas closer sa reality yung candle model than ways model. So, given all this, I want to share with you 4 applications. Ano yung 4 na applications na yan? Number 1, you should modify the way you see your birthday. Ano ang tamang attitude kapag nagba-birthday ka? Ano yung tamang interpretation pag ang isang tao nag-birthday? 'Di ba? Lumipas ang 1 year na buhay ka pa. Given the candle model, ito ang ibig sabihin niyan. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, binigyan ka pa ni Lord ng 8,760 hours na lumipas na. Kasi nga, nag-birthday ka eh. So, from your previous birthday to your present birthday, 8,760 hours. That's 525,600 minutes. Yan yung lumipas na oras, na minuto after your previous birthday. So, ibig sabihin yan, walang masamang nangyari sa'yo or buhay ka pa after this number of hours, after this number of minutes. Kaya dapat ang attitude mo pag nagbo-birthday ka is gratitude. That the Lord has given you another year para mabuhay to do your mission. Yun. Kaya dapat ang attitude mo pag birthday ka, hindi yung naghahanap ka kung sino man nilibre sa'yo. Ang attitude mo dapat magpapasalamat ka kay Lord that God has given you another 525,600 minutes to enjoy life at the same time to do the mission that He asked you to do. Alright? So, bawas-bawasan nyo na yung attitude nyo na kapag birthday nyo, gusto nyo kayo nililibre. Kaya it makes more sense sa kapag birthday mo, ikaw dapat ang nanlilibre. Kasi, yan yung way mo of giving thanks to the Lord by sharing your blessings to others. The Lord has been so good to me, binigyan niya ako ng ganitong oras, na buhay pa ako, I'm overflowing with blessings, ililibre ko kayo sa Jollibee. Ganun dapat ang attitude. Number 2, identify your life purpose. Kasi maikli na nga lang yung buhay mo. 'Di ba? Kung maikli na lang yung buhay mo, what you would want is, yung maikling buhay na yon, you are going to spend it for things that are worth it. Yung merong kwenta sa Tagalog. 'Di ba tama yung logic, no? Maikli na nga lang yung buhay mo, gumawa ka na ng mga bagay na may mga kwenta. Paano mo ba malalaman kung ano yung mga bagay na may mga kwenta kapag yung mga bagay na ginagawa mo is in accordance to your life purpose? Dapat yung structure ng buhay mo is something like this. Lahat ng ginagawa mo araw-araw, whatever that is, lagi siyang may kinalaman sa mission mo sa buhay, sa life purpose mo. Bakit ka nag-aaral? Bakit ka nagtatrabaho? Bakit ka dyan nagtatrabaho? Bakit ka nagpe-parent? Bakit ka nagmamasteral? Whatever. Bakit gusto mo magpakasal? All of those things that you do, dapat inline siya sa life purpose mo. Yan, kaya makikita nyo nga dito, no? Yan, lahat ng task based on your life purpose, which is the most important in life. Gawin mo yung purpose na pinapagawa sa'yo ng Creator mo. Paano ba malaman yung life purpose? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao nakikita yung life purpose, no? This is something that you need to work on. Meron mga principles, may mga exercises na ginagawa dyan to help you identify your life purpose. I highly recommend basahin nyo itong libro ni Rick Warren, Purpose-Driven Life. Meron siyang framework na ginagamit to help people to identify their life purpose. 40 days. 1 chapter per day in 40 days, more or less, malalaman mo na kung ano ang purpose ni Lord sa buhay mo. So that you're gonna use your time more wisely. Or should I say, so that you're gonna use your very short time here on earth more wisely. Kaya mahalaga na dapat alam mo yung purpose mo sa buhay. Number 3, given the candle model of looking at aging, dapat ma-motivate ka, don't waste other people's time. kung binavalue mo yung maikling oras mo, i-value mo rin yung maikling oras ng ibang tao. Kasi hindi lang ikaw yung maikli lang ang oras. Hindi lang ikaw yung ang oras, every moment, paikli ng paikli. Yung ibang tao, ganun din. Nanay mo, tatay mo, kaibigan mo, office mates mo, boss mo, mga ka-meetings mo, lahat ng tao. Every moment, every breath that we take, paikli ng paikli ang buhay. Kaya irespeto natin yung mga oras nila. Halimbawa, sa meetings. Kaya dapat medyo magigilty ka kapag late ka sa meeting. Kasi, ibig sabihin nun, pag late ka sa meeting, sinayang mo yung oras nila. Late ka ng 30 minutes. Ibig sabihin, nagsayang ka ng 30 minutes ng oras ng iba. Yung 30 minutes na yon, sana ginamit na lang nila for self-development or ginamit nila yon to spend more time with people that they love. Wala. Feeling mo, importante ka. Yung 30 minutes nila, kinuha mo. Yung 30 minutes na pwede pa nilang magamit sa iba, ginamit nila sa pag-upo sa upuan para hintayin ka. O diba? That should make you feel guilty. Kaya dapat, huwag kang uma-attend ng mga meetings na nalilate ka kasi sinasayang mo yung oras ng iba. Or another example, ito, mas malalim to, deceptions. Itigil nyo na yung mga panloloko, lalong-lalo na in the context of relationships. Kung wala naman kayong planong pakasalan, wala naman kayong planong long-term for that person, pakawalan nyo na lang sila. Kasi may mga taong ganyan without realizing how short a person's time is. Diba? Ginawa niyang girlfriend, ginawa niyang boyfriend for 5 years. Wala naman palang planong ikasal. Di sana yung 5 years na yon, hinayaan mo na lang siya para mahanap niya yung the one. Sana yung 5 years na yon, ginamit na lang niya for her self-development or ginamit na lang niya yon for God's purpose for her life. Wala, sinayang mo lang. Binola mo ng binola, pinaasa mo ng pinaasa, napakakasalan mo, 5 years na wala pa. Nagigets nyo? So sana wag yung gagawin yun. Wag natin sayangin yung oras ng iba. Ibigay natin yung oras nila kasi sa kanila yon. Para mas magamit nila yon sa mga mas magagandang paraan. Diba? Especially, God's work. Okay? And last one, number 4. Ito, personal application to, given the candle model of understanding aging, dapat meron kang last day attitude. Ibig sabihin, when you wake up in the morning, lagi mong ina-assume that this could be your last day. Hindi ka sure kung buhay ka pa bukas. In fact, hindi ka sure kung buhay ka pa mamayang hapon. Dapat ganun lagi yung attitude na yung buhay mo posibleng matapos any time of the day. Live every day as if it were your last. Yung ganyang popular saying, biblical yan Diyan nanggaling yon sa candle model of aging. Kaya nga, going back to our passage, yan yung kinokorek ni James. Kasi yung mga taong ganyan, yung nasa verse 13, wala silang last day attitude. Feeling nila, ang yayabang nila, marami pa silang days ahead. Pero sa totoo lang, the reality is, we will never know. We will not even know if we're still alive tomorrow. Ang dami pwede mangyari from today, from right now until tomorrow. Lumindol, bumagsak yung bahay mo. Or lumabas ka sa streets, nasagasaan ka ng truck na nawala ng preno. Kumain ka sa labas, nakakain ka ng something sa food mo, na food poison ka, nagkaroon ka ng complications sa ospital, deads ka. Right? Little things like that can happen. It's not a guarantee kung buhay pa tayo bukas. Kaya dapat ang assumption natin lagi, this is our last day. Now, for those of you who are saying, napaka-morbid mo naman, sir, that is a very depressing way to see life. Hindi ka sure kung may future ka pa. Ang perspective mo, everyday lang, that is so sad. I beg to disagree, and the literature disagrees. Because studies show na ang mga taong ganyan ang attitude sa buhay, they are living their days as if it's their last. Studies show it's good for mental health. Basahin niyo yung literature on terror management theory. That's what it says. It's a very popular theory, by the way, in DevPsych. Lalong-lalo na when we talk about aging. Basically, for those of you who are not familiar, yung terror management theory, ang sinasabi niyan, the more we sense our time is getting shorter, mas gumaganda yung psychological behaviors natin. For example, in most laboratory studies ng terror management theory, pinapakita sa mga tao, pinapakita sa mga participants yung mga ideas, mga pictures about death para ma-sense nila na konti na lang yung oras nila. And according to the results, those people who sense na konti na lang yung oras nila, ano nangyayari sa kanila? May behavioral effects. When people sense that they have less time remaining here on earth, na malapit na silang mamatay, they connect to more people, they become more focused in life, they become more principled, mas nagiging health conscious sila, and most importantly, number 5, kapag nasa-sense ng tao na konti na lang yung oras niya sa buhay, mas nagiging spiritual siya, which is a very good thing. Alam niyo yan, in this channel, I talk about spirituality a lot. Spirituality predicts life quality. The more spiritual a person is, mas gumaganda yung kalidad ng buhay. So one way for you to become more spiritual is to sense na konti na lang yung oras mo sa buhay, and one way to do that is to consider your everyday as if it is your last. I hope nako-connect niyo yung mga sinasabi ko. And for those of you na nakataas yung kilay sa number 5, baka niloloko ko lang kayo, you can read this article. Yan, maganda rin to. Na ang mga tao, i-zoom in natin i-resize natin, i-zoom in natin, na ang mga tao na nasisense sila, konti na lang yung buhay nila, konti na lang yung length of time nila, mas nagiging concerned sila sa morality. Mas iniisip nila yung mga spiritual things, like God, ano ang tama, anong mali, judgment, forgiveness, and all these things are good for mental health. Kaya nga, in our everyday life, ang isa ko nakikitang example na magpapatunay na totoo nga yung sinasabi ng terror management theory is for those people who are diagnosed with cancer. You read the literature, isa sa mga common response ng mga taong na diagnosed ng cancer, lalong-lalo na late stage cancer. Ano ang number 1 effect sa kanila? Many of them, although not all, many of them, tumataas yung level of spirituality, nagiging close kay Lord. Mas nagiging concerned about spiritual ideas. Mas nagiging mabait sa ibang tao. I remembered yung one of the Psalms of David, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Valley of the shadow of death can be a cancer diagnosis. Valley of the shadow of death can be a death threat from someone you don't know. Valley of the shadow of death could be a possibility of an accident when you drive in a dangerous place. Nagigets nyo? So when people sense na malapit sila sa shadow of the valley of death, ano nangyayari? Going back to this passage, you are with me. Naaalala niya yung presence of God. For you are with me. Your rod, your staff, they comfort me. Nagkakaroon ng contrast. Maikli na lang yung buhay ko, but there is a higher being out there who is watching over me. It's up to Him kung malalagpasan ko tong valley of the shadow of death or not, but regardless what happens, He protects me. He comforts me. Yun yung mental health benefit. Kapag ang perspective mo sa buhay, anytime you can go and you don't have enough time. Alright? So, again, ito yung mga applications natin kung i-apply mo na yung candle model of aging. Palitan mo yung interpretation mo sa birthday mo, identify mo yung life purpose mo, don't waste other people's time, and every day, consider it as if this is your last day, kasi posible naman talaga na last day mo na to. Posible naman talaga na last ko na to. Sounds scary, pero yun talaga yung closer to reality, and it's good for our mental health as supported in the scientific literature. Alright, so yan lang yung maikli nating lecture kung paano ang tamang way to see aging. Sana marami kayong natutunan. If you have questions, comments, topics that you want to discuss in the future, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa baba. Sir Howard here. Until the next lecture, God bless everyone. Bye-bye.